This Black History Month, we are highlighting Kansas Cityans making a difference in the community. All new this morning, we're introducing you to a woman who knocked down barriers in her fight for civil rights here in Kansas City.
Her name is Judge Lisa Hardwick. She's the first black woman to serve on the Missouri Court of Appeals. And 41 Action News reporter Charlie Keegan found out what has kept her motivated all this time.
Inside Judge Lisa White Hardwick's office,
it reminds me.
A quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. hangs on the wall. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
I was 7 years old when Martin Luther King died.
She remembers watching, confused, when riots broke out in Kansas City after King's death.
My parents explained the violence was a desperate cry from people that the dream of civil rights had died with Dr. King.
At that moment, Hardwick made it her mission to make sure the dream of civil rights didn't die. She felt she could make her biggest impact in the legal system. She went to Harvard Law School, came back to Kansas City,
I'll sit here.
And in 2001, landed a spot in this courtroom as the first black woman to serve as a judge in Missouri's Court of Appeals.
I think Billie Jean King said pressure is a privilege that comes with being the first person through the door. And the pressure is to make sure the door stays open, that you do a good enough job, people will be able to follow behind you.
Hardwick's path led to 3 other black women becoming appellate judges, yet some of her most impactful work happens outside the courtroom as co-chair of Missouri's Commission on Racial and Ethnic Fairness.
And it's been eye-opening.
She points to data from the Attorney General's office, which shows blacks are more likely to get pulled over, searched, and arrested compared to whites. And after a conviction, blacks end up with longer prison sentences. As a result, the commission has implemented diversity training for lawyers and made changes to jury proceedings to eliminate unconscious biases, but it hasn't been perfect.
Sometimes when you highlight stereotypes to people, for some reason it reinforces them rather than causes them to change. So we have to figure out how to do that.
Figure out how to make sure everyone has a fair chance at justice when they're in a courtroom, the fair chance Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood for.
His life was cut short, but the dream wasn't. So I hope to live that out.
Hardwick is turning the dream into reality. In Kansas City, Charlie Keegan, 41 Action News.
What an incredible woman. Hardwick is looking to break another barrier, too. A Missouri Supreme Court judge is going to retire next month, and she told us she plans to apply for that opening. A black woman has never served as a judge on the Missouri State Supreme Court, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens with that moving forward.